Warning, this podcast contains rump roast. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Gotham Season 2, Episode 17, Into the Woods. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, Nikki.
Hi.
And my co-host, John.
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good. I mean, better than last week, if we're talking about this show.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, you guys like this episode a lot better than last week's episode?
Oh, definitely.
Or I guess the week before, right? Because
Yeah.
last week was a repeat. But yeah,
Yeah.
you know what we're talking about.
Last
Yeah.
episode was it was nothing in comparison to this one. That's how I feel anyways.
Okay. What did you like so much about this episode?
That we got Penguin back. Yeah, that was probably the most interesting part for me.
Like real Penguin.
Real Penguin. Yeah.
Okay. John, what was your favorite part?
I think I guess the payoff we got for all the Enigma stuff that's been going on.
Oh, yes,
I mean,
that too. Oh, my God.
That's been, you want the real rise of the villains.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was the one with the farthest to rise.
Yes.
And, he got caught. And, this all came to a head, and I was really happy to see that happen.
Yeah. For me, this is Barbara.
Oh, no.
Barbara.
I missed Barbara. I missed you saying Barbara like that.
Barbara.
Barbara.
I don't know.
So, I don't know, like Barbara wakes up out of her coma. She's going to like group therapy session, with Hugo Strange. She's sitting there saying like, I woke up and I feel normal. I don't feel insane anymore. From everything that I thought, I mean, granted, I'm not insane. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I thought the insane don't know that they're actually insane.
I mean, they're not using like real mental illness.
Yeah.
She's. I mean, if anything, she's just a freaking sociopath. I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't change from being in a coma.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the most I could say is she had frontal lobe damage, and that could influence her, emotional state and behavior, and that's about the best I could say, like, scientifically, what could be going on. But
I don't know.
who knows? Because, you just mentioned Penguin, Nikki, and he was cured for about a week, and now he's not. So, Hugo's methods are not quite sound.
Mrs. Peacock questioned Hugo and was like, what are people going to think when you keep releasing these monsters?
He doesn't give a shit.
He's like, you're going to get a bad rep. He's like, I don't care about my reputation. He just wants to go through with his experiments and, go through with his big-ass plans that he's got down in Indian Hill.
Yeah, I mean, he basically gave the Strand excuse. If I'm going to use one, it's my fucking boat. Like, I don't care.
And, I mean, these regular villains that are in the insane asylum, they're a good distraction to keep people away from looking at what he's actually doing.
Oh, yeah.
So...
We don't know what he's actually doing.
We don't.
That's the problem.
I mean, that's
nobody
the thing.
knows. Not even Miss Peacock knows.
Is
that her
that
name?
I think that's her name.
I'm just calling her that because you did.
I think that's her name.
I think that's her name.
I thought it was Peabody.
Oh, maybe it is Miss Peabody.
I don't.
Either way, they're both from the game.
Yeah, it's Peabody.
Yeah.
No, that's Mr. Body. Mr.
But, I
Body's
mean,
the host.
Right, yeah,
Miss
yeah.
Peacock is the murderer in the library with the candlestick.
yeah.
All right.
But I think it's interesting that he's just sort of like I don't know what's going to happen with these people. I just want to say like this is all for science.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't have a clue like what Penguin's going to do or like what Barbara's going to do. Like he has a good idea, I think.
He thinks he has a good idea. I don't know, with Barbara's situation, I think the coma was like a reset, and she just needs a small trigger for her to go off the rails again. Kind of
Yeah.
like Penguin, except his was not really a little trigger. It was traumatic and super emotional.
Yeah, it was sort of a similar. It's what got him here in the first place. I think it was a traumatic loss, and then
Mm-hmm.
followed by or preceded and or followed by like subjugation by an asshole. He was being mistreated again, and he those were two things that were always going to trigger him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
John, what do you think about the method, how he found out about the poison?
I'm not happy.
I know. I was sitting there going like, oh my god, he's cringing right in his chair right now. He's screaming. He's mad.
I have to tell you, because my uncle's dog is a Doberman,
I know.
and he was just over my house that night. Like at 7:30, they left, and then I went upstairs to watch Gotham. I was like, Declan, no, not the puppy.
I thought of Declan too, and I felt really sad.
Well, because Nikki was like, John is really going to hate this episode. And I go, I just talked to John before we did an episode we did Fear the Walking Dead yesterday, and you watched Gotham just before it, and you're like, that was a really good episode of Gotham. I was like, he seemed to like it, and she goes, and then she had to explain the whole story, and I was like, oh, okay, I see that.
I just selectively ignored that. 'Cause I was like, nope, yep, that dog is fine.
I'm sorry for bringing it up.
No, it's okay. I was like, you could have just poured it on the floor. Like, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, he didn't have to use all of it either. I thought he was gonna like poison the mother, but oh my god, what he did to her was so much worse.
It was.
Oh god, it was like Eric Cartman levels of crazy.
Yeah. Grace ended up eating her two children, Charles and Sasha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I knew something was up, but
Like, why
I
did she...
didn't know what. Like, she's like, oh, it's a little dry. And he's like, oh, we'll try the other cut. And I wasn't thinking it was the kids, but I knew something was going on with the kids. And because he said before, oh, they wouldn't answer anyway. And I was like, why?
You killed them, but how?
Or I was just thinking they were like, tied up, dangling over an alligator pit, something crazy and zany, because, I'm the penguin,
Mm-hmm.
But,
Well,
my
that
God.
was pretty crazy. Not so much zany, but crazy. And,
Oh, very.
oh god.
That was great. Bravo, penguin, bravo.
He seems a lot more vicious than all the other penguins that I've come across. Like, I don't know.
Danny DeVito bit somebody's nose off.
I guess. Alright.
That's kind of close.
But did he feed other people? I
Maybe.
mean, biting somebody's face and ear, we've seen that. It's happened just in passing, boxing matches. It seems like it's an okay thing.
I don't know. I think he's crossed the line that he's never really crossed before.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awesome, but I'm kind of glad they did that because like the penguin little mini story here kind of moved very predictably, I think.
Yeah.
Really very predictably. Yeah. But that was a great way to end it because that at least was something that was not predictable. So I'll give it, a B+ because of the ending.
Yeah. I don't know. And then there was a lot with Gordon. Gordon almost getting caught. Gordon like tracking the tape down.
Mm-hmm. I love the line where he goes to Bully. He's like, yeah, I got people that can help me. And all of a sudden you see Jim walking into Nigma's apartment, or was he already in Nigma's apartment? I don't know. All I know is that that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. It's like, no, you're going to the wrong person right now. You can't do that. Don't do it.
Yeah, and then of course he just sidles up to him and goes, "I knew."
Yeah.
It's like,
When Nigma was like, and the cuckoo clock went off, and he's like, almost like busted, and all of a sudden Gordon's electrified and like foaming at the mouth on the floor. I was like, oh my god, this is classic fucking Riddler right here.
That's why your chairs are attached to the main line.
Yeah, always one step ahead. Always.
Oh.
yeah.
You know, and then he's dragging Gordon out to the car. Gordon escapes, gets shot. Then there was the warehouse, when Gordon was in the warehouse, right? And you have Nigma come in. I don't know if you get... Nikki probably not, but John, did you watch the original Adam West Batmans a lot?
I mean, I've seen an episode or two.
The a famous thing that they would do on the TV show is whenever a villain, like a shot of the villain, they would turn the camera at like a Dutch angle, they call it, where it's almost like kitty corner, you know, to frame that it's the villain, because they're all like weird and off, you know, off a little bit.
Yeah.
And most of the warehouse was shot at that angle, and it was really cool.
Oh, okay. It's super clever.
Yeah, it's kind of a throwback to like old original Batman. So,
Okay.
Right.
You know, I like
That's
that.
very cool.
Yeah. But Gordon escapes, you know, with the bullet wound. The whole time, when he opened the door and Nigma, like, he was, like, chased after and looked out on the streets and was like, nobody's there, I was like, I bet he just, like, opened the door and ducked to another part of the warehouse. Like, make Nigma think that he left and didn't actually leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I would have done.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have... I'm not going to be able to get very far on my, you know, my feet or whatever, so I would open the door, kick it, you know, whatever, so it would fly open, and I'd go duck around a corner somewhere. That way the person runs out the door and they're looking for you. Meanwhile, you're right where you started and you're safe and sound. You got time now, you know?
I don't know. Gordon didn't seem like he had that much time, because as soon as he got to Selina's crib, as she called it, he passed out on her couch.
Yeah, that's true. But probably from all the walking and running on the leg.
That's true.
You know, a lot of pain getting shot.
Yeah.
He was losing quite a bit of blood, too, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you, how do you guys think he found Selina's crib? Because that was not the same one that he was in before. She was in what appeared to be the opera theater that the pig was operating in, the last we saw.
Yeah, it looked really familiar. I was trying to pinpoint it when we were watching, and I just couldn't.
It looked like the opera theater because there was a balcony at one point, and there's all scaffolding in the balcony, but it looked like a balcony from like an overhang of a theater, you know, like a side balcony, you know.
Yeah, I have no idea how he would have known.
The last time Gordon was near her, involved with her, she was living in like a clock tower or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With that, like, just that mattress and her shotgun.
Yeah. So.
I think that was when Fish was still around, so.
Yeah, that was.
It was a long time ago.
Yep. So Bruce took him the only place that he could really think of for help, and that was back to Alfred. Mm-hmm. Brings him back home, goes to the mansion, and finds out that his father's computer was fixed by Lucius a couple days ago. Or even that morning, I think he said.
I think it was a couple days, he said. And he's like, when were you going to tell me? It's like, Alfred's like, how can I?
He's like, I tried to tell you this morning, but you kept interrupting me.
Oh, Bruce.
So.
The incorrigible youth.
Oh, goodness. Get off my lawn.
But, Alfred goes, look, you're not going to look what's on that computer with Selina around. It's one or the other. You're not endangering that girl's life. And Bruce really didn't put up much of a fight.
No. Well, he was going to. And then that's when Alfred said, it's dangerous. You can't involve her. And then he was like, yeah, you're right. I like her. In quotations.
It's dangerous, but what about the shit they were doing at the beginning of the episode? Right? They robbed some guy, jumped off a roof that was an entire, alley-sized gap.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like that's, endangering your physical abilities and that's like a one-time risk kind of thing, jumping from roof to roof.
One time you fall and you're done.
I know. But when you're digging into Bruce's father's, investigative stuff and, it's got to do with Indian Hill, there's got to be, information on that. He's involving her in just a whole world of crap. And people are going to come from this end and below and above, and they're just going to come around, and there's going to be a lot of danger versus jumping the roof, which they seem to have been able to do multiple times because he cleared it. So,
Barely cleared it. I thought he was going to be hanging off the edge when they cut away from that.
I think what I'm getting at is he's going to open up a whole bunch of opportunities for enemies to come rolling through his front door. And since he likes Selena so much.
He did sew up Selena, and we saw the start of the classic Catwoman stitching, in her jacket.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was cute.
Yeah.
He's like, Alfred always told me that sewing is a good skill set for a bachelor. Or something like that. It was so cute. And she just kind of just accepted it.
Just like, I like you, kid.
Spunk.
He got spunk.
And that was a good bit of, I feel like that was a good bit of misdirection. I was like, oh, wow, they're really, they're really starting to get close and bond and, they're getting to be good friends. And then just, because, hell, I forgot about the whole computer thing.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So did I. As soon as Alfred mentioned it, I was like, yes.
Shit. Yes.
Now, where is Lucius? I need his face.
Now, do you think Alfred was purposely, pushing Lucius to finish this to reel Bruce back in, kind of? Do you think that was Alfred's plan, or do you think it just happened to all fall together perfectly?
I mean, we don't see any, hint to that at all right now, but that's a big possibility. We know Alfred doesn't want Bruce out there.
But at the same time, he respected his wishes while he was there. So, and he was gone for a while. So I think if he was that desperate to get him back, I think he had the means to find him. But I would like to think that it was just convenient timing and Alfred was actually being respectful to Bruce's wishes.
That's what I'm hoping it was. But in the meantime, after, Jim actually ends up clearing his name and everything, through the Nigma thing. We'll go back to Nigma in a second. But, he busts out Bruce's father's case file, and he's like, look, I'm looking into this. So we're right back where we started with him. He's kind of being a man of his word. He wants to finish what he started.
He's not working with the GCPD, though, right? He's kind of working on his own as an independent?
Yep.
Okay.
So I feel like he's going to get more done this way.
Probably. He's not going to be so distracted with the balloon man and, this randomly named dude that has no really impact on the story.
I like the balloon man.
I miss him.
Seriously.
He was so light and airy.
Just a flighty kind of guy.
Yeah. That was a terrible pun.
They're all terrible.
Yeah,
it's true.
Well, that's why they're puns.
At least they're not Nigma's puns at the very beginning of the series.
I mean, Nigma's riddle this episode was actually not too bad. It was a little predictable, but it wasn't bad.
I think that was the point.
Yeah, and then, the fact that Gordon outsmarted him, that's probably the most disappointing thing to me. Is it was he got outsmarted by him and he guessed his riddle, with that much effort,
Well, this isn't Riddler in his prime. This is Riddler still learning who he is. he's he's got his multiple personality disorder. He's still dealing with that. So when Gordon claimed and he overheard what was going to be happening, I expect him to be like, oh gosh, I'm desperate, I need to do this now, I need to cover this up.
Yeah.
It just I'm thinking he's like in his infancy.
Yeah, he's like has the mind for it, I think, mostly, but he doesn't have that determination that he needs to like really stick with a plan. It makes him sloppy. Like his fear makes him do stupid things. Whereas like the Riddler in the future is like really not afraid of anything besides when Batman's actively punching him.
He's friends with the honey badger.
What?
Don't give a fuck. The hell?
Yeah. Whew. That was weird. So...
Portal gun, right?
Yes, that's how Portal works.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I get... I guess, Jim... Luckily, I think the advantage Jim had was, like, he knew that Enigma was so emotional. And, like, would screw up if you threatened him.
Yeah, well, it's like, oh, he gets Selina to go into the police station and make some threats and, outsmarts him that way. And he's like, oh, well, Penguin, there's a 80% chance he's going to find Penguin. There's an 80% chance Penguin's going to squeal. So that's a 60% chance that he's going to find the body. I better go get it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Some good detective work, Jim.
Yeah.
Get it. You're finally a detective and not a murderer.
Mm-hmm. So, after, he's all caught and everything, and we see him working on the case. We see Jim working on the case for Bruce's parents and everything. That's when Barbara shows up. What do you think's going to go on with Barbara and Jim now?
Jim's obviously going to have questions, but I don't think he's going to turn her away.
No.
I think he has reeling guilt for her right now.
Well, it's not only that, but Lee has lost the baby.
So we think. We heard secondhand.
Right.
It's probably
but
more than secondhand.
Lee's also moved away, and he has really big reservations about calling her. He called, and he didn't answer. Like, he just left her going, hello, 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 and he was, like, heavy breathing into the phone, and then he hung up, like...
I didn't know Jim was that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was pretty... I mean, obviously we knew where Barbara was going, but I didn't think they were going to do it this episode. I thought they were going to wait, but I feel like, because he's existing outside the law right now, maybe he's going to, like, conscript her to help him.
Maybe.
In some way to investigate the Wayne stuff, because, like, she, while crazy, is still a bit of a debutante and can get to places that he can't get to. She can look fancy and go to a ball or some kind of art party or whatever, because she still apparently runs that studio, I guess.
Does she? Was that...
Dude, who knows?
Oh, God.
I don't know. But, she never went to work to begin with, so why would it stop running now?
It's probably flourishing without her.
It's like the best business ever. But, I feel like maybe they might team up. Like, really team up.
That'd be interesting.
I mean...
Like, do the whole good cop, crazy cop thing.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought that she'd be they would be back at this point where, they could do things together without wanting to kill each other.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, like, thinking, oh gosh, it's season 1 Barbara again. Oh my God, here we go. They're going to have a love child, and I'm going to hate it. It's going to be terrible.
Well, they're going to have a son.
They're going to have Barbara Jr.
Well, they have to have a son first.
Okay.
Named James, and he's going to be crazy.
Okay.
And then they'll have Babs.
And then they'll have baby Babs.
So she'll be Batgirl, and everything will be okay.
I don't know. I'm hoping that they go and do a complete twist because I loved Gordon on the street trying to take out the muggers and everything before he almost got caught. I was like, okay, he's Batman and Bruce is Robin.
That'd be a very interesting twist on the show. But as far as canon goes for this show, they could do it. As far as I'm concerned, because everything's out the window at this point.
I hate to ruin it for you, but he is Batman in this one. So.
Yeah. Anything else for this episode?
I feel like there was something I wanted to say.
Feel like coming to a roast dinner on Sunday?
No.
No?
Sure.
No.
I might.
If I don't come, do I get to be cooked or how this works?
You know what?
That might be how she selects the style meat.
Okay, so maybe put me down.
Maybe put me down. I will be there.
I'll make sure like every seat has those little like name tags on the really nice printed paper, so you know where you're sitting. Okay, just so you know.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And anybody that put a maybe on the Facebook invite and that doesn't come, they're there for dinner.
Let the hunt begin. I don't think I have anything else for this one.
All right. Well, next episode is called Pinewood.
Okay.
After leaving Arkham Asylum, Barbara attempts to make amends with Gordon. Then, Bruce and Alfred track down one of Thomas Wayne's former friends from Project Chimera. But Hugo Strange disrupts their plans.
Project Chimera, eh?
Chimera.
Well, that sounds Indian Hill-like.
I mean, we need more Indian Hill stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see some more mutations and amalgamations coming out of that basement. That'd be great.
Oh man, I mean,
I want to see the Bane toxin play a role, at some point. I want to see more of the Scarecrow serum.
I want to see Gallivant come back.
I want Jerome back.
And Mr. Freeze.
We can expect them all to come back because this is the Wrath of the Villains. There's another 5 episodes yet. So
that's true.
We got time.
I hope the finale ends with Jerome just laughing into the camera.
I hope he's got a really like mangled face too. Not painted, like, tacky. Like it's just kinda like he's actually got a scar that makes his grin look bigger, not paint.
Yeah, like a Heath Ledger thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do we need the scars though?
Yes, it's iconic.
Kind of, but at the same time, Jack Nicholson didn't have the scars.
No, but he had the face paint
right
on. I mean, it's one or the other for me. I mean, it's you go with the scars or you go with the face paint.
You go with
don't
both.
Like the face paint.
Heath Ledger had the face paint.
It was really grungy, though.
Or he just cuts his own face off, or has a dollmaker cut his own face off, and he wears it like a mask.
Oh, Dalmaka.
Dalmaka. We need him back. So I think that about does it. Nikki, where can the people find you?
You guys are horrible. You can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyYVENOM24.
John, where can the people find you?
Fruitlessly trying to slap Dom at No More on Twitter.
You can find me. Oh, I don't even have a lower third.
Where did it go?
You can find me there at Phenomenon. PHENOMEDOM. Just trying to mute you. You can find us all on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, Space, And right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Until next week, see you guys later.
I fell.
Toodles.
You did, but now you can't get up.
No, I can't.
Oh well.
You're the worst.
I try.
Ugh.